Regarding our NDA for Primatene Mist, we recently received a general advice letter from the agency which provided feedback on our proposed protocol for our human factor study. The feedback was constructive and allows us to proceed with our study. We currently are conducting a small pilot study and plan to begin what we believe will be our final study in April. Assuming that the results are acceptable, which we expect them to be, we should be in a position to resubmit the NDA in the second quarter.
And there's a follow-up question for you, Jason, with respect to Primatene. Obviously, given some of the back and forth with the agency over the years on that asset, once you've completed this small human factor study, what kind of interaction or clarity or communication can you hope to gain from the agency in advance of resubmitting the NDA, just to make sure the company and the agency are on the same page there?
Well, I feel we've had that pre-filing dialogue. The advice letter that they just gave to us provided some recommendations that we do and that we make sure happen in the study before resubmitting. And it's all very reasonable and feasible. So we think it's straightforward. If an issue were to occur, then perhaps we would have a follow-up with the agency. But at this point, we pretty much have the green light, assuming we follow those recommendations, which are straightforward, to resubmit shortly after the study. So I don't think at this point we have any pre-NDA meeting, so to speak, planned. It's pretty straightforward at this point. We've narrowed it down to a very one issue, and we think we've got it under control. So we believe this will be a good study. If the results come out the way we expect them to be, we'll package it up, and we plan on resubmitting shortly thereafter.
Hi, good afternoon. A couple pipeline questions also. I guess to follow up on Primatene, from the feedback you've gotten, do you expect a Class 1 or a Class 2 resubmission? And I think you had previously manufactured product in anticipation of a launch in late 16, early 17. Is that product still usable for a launch later this year?
Yeah, thanks, Serge. This is Jason. I'll answer the pipeline question. So we have not raised the resubmission class with the agency. As a company, we still believe that this is, a very narrow issue that could deserve a 2-month review as opposed to a 6-month. We have not had that discussion. It may be worth, a question prior to filing, but at this point, the agency has not indicated which class it would be, but we maintain that we think it's a straightforward review issue.
And as far as the inventory goes, we made that in November and December of 16, so it's been well over a year now. Highly unlikely that we could use any of the finished goods that we produced at that time and be able to sell those. However, at the time, we also did buy and expense at the time pumps, valves, and canisters. And we also have API on hand, which has no book value as of right now either. So we have a significant amount of materials that will have an initial cost of $0 when we start selling the product.
Thanks very much. It was encouraging to hear about the progress with Primatene and that you think you're going to do your final human factor study and that you're going to file in Q2. So my questions revolve around the sales and marketing effort. The product clearly has a different profile than just about all your other products. It's a consumer product. When it was on the market previously as a CFC, it was one of the most well-known brands in the United States and had a heavy direct-to-consumer component. So I was just curious, given that you're going to plan on launching it this year, how much spend will you put behind it? Are you going to use direct-to-consumer TV and print advertising? And what kind of peak sales do you think it could generate? And because it's such a well-known brand, how quickly do you think it could get to peak?
Yeah, good questions. So in terms of the sales and marketing, We are planning a multi-million-dollar marketing spend at launch, and we did meet with a firm last year, and we have a good plan in place. Television ads are extremely expensive. I mean, you could spend $100 million on something like that. So most of it will be online, which seems to have a lot of good pull these days. And of course, the retailers will be promoting it as well. This brings in a lot of good foot traffic for the retailers, and they've been excited about this product for several years and awaiting the approval. So yeah, we definitely need to let people know it's back, and we'll be spending millions of dollars at launch, mostly on online advertising, and obviously in mailers for the regions out of the retailers. In 2010, that was our peak sales for the CFC product. That was $65 million in peak sales. And looking at what's out there OTC right now, there's a number of nebulizers that are on the market through the Monograph. These are epinephrine products that are priced quite high. And so based on their pricing as well as the improvements with our product, our product used to be in glass, which tended to break and had no dose indicator. This new one, it's a patented product. It's aluminum. It has a dose indicator. Not that we purposely did it this way, but because there is an indicator, there's less head space, so the product actually does not have as many doses as the CFC version, which will lead to most likely more purchases. So we think it will take some time. I think getting it on the shelves, no problem, but then having people actually purchase it and having the retailers reorder, that will take some time. We do believe in the long run that we will exceed the $65 million in peak sales.